Oh, you want me to talk about Richard Feynman? Coolest scientist ever, Richard Feynman? Like, science-wise, I could go on and on. He created the Feynman diagram, it's right in the name. He was instrumental in early experiments on superfluidity using supercool helium. He created incredible advances in nanotechnology, did a lot of early work on quantum computers, did tons of revolutionary theoretical work on the basic forces that hold our universe together, most notably on the strong nuclear force. He also helped make the nuclear bomb. Look, nobody's perfect. But it's his personality that gets him known to be one of the coolest scientists ever. He was obsessed with bongo music, and he took his bongos to his lectures. He would very often just get distracted and start playing the bongos. He also loved dancing, and he would just dance to keep himself occupied as he worked on his formulas. He was known for being a great explainer. They said that he could explain physics to anyone, regardless of their schooling. And he could rarely get through an explanation or a lecture without cracking a joke or two. He cracked safes and picked locks for fun. And he also wrote poetry. He wrote a lot of poems to his wife, and after she died, he wrote a love letter expressing how much he loved her. During the communist scare, he was considered a huge threat because he was very left-leaning and he was incredibly intelligent. He was described as, quote, immensely clever, indeed a genius, completely ruthless, unhampered by morals, ethics, or religion, and will stop at nothing to achieve his ends. He took a sabbatical to Brazil, where he learned to play the metal pan, which is very big here on TikTok, and actually became a pit musician in an orchestra. But again, he wasn't perfect. There were a lot of allegations of sexism. And while he was never formally charged, he did personally admit that he wasn't the best person at certain times in his life. And later in his life, in the late 80s, he became very outspoken against institutionalized sexism in science fields. He loved experimenting with consciousness, a little too much. He was really into pot, he took ketamine, he tried sensory deprivation tanks, and he loved him some booze, but stopped after he showed signs of alcoholism. He was obsessed with exposing psychic frauds, and he notoriously ended up sitting down with Uri Geller, a renowned psychic, and basically making him make a fool out of himself. He painted, and he signed his paintings under a pseudonym, Ofe. He used to go to nude bars and strip clubs to work on his equations. In the middle of performances, he would get a spark of inspiration and start doodling things down on paper placemats. He was known for being a notorious prankster, constantly playing jokes on his lab mates, to the extent that it actually frustrated his colleagues. He died at the age of 69. Nice. He kept teaching classes up to 15 days before he died, and as he laid on his deathbed, his last words were, "Man, I would hate to die twice. This is so boring." Definitely one of the candidates for one of the coolest physicists of all time.